So, what's the difference between a stock and an option? Essentially, a stock gives you ownership in a company, whereas an option is really just a contract that gives you the right to buy or sell stock at a later date, at a future date. Hey guys, welcome to Budget with a July Dreamer. My name is Miranda, and on this channel we talk about travel, lifestyle, and money. And in today's video, I will be talking all about investing for beginners. I am fairly new to investing in the stock market, but I've got a little bit of experience in owning shares and options. So in today's video, I will be covering, what is a stock. I would just be answering general questions. How do you start investing? This is something that I'm going to cover in this video, and how much you should invest. So if this sounds like something you're interested in learning, then hit that subscribe button because I'll be doing more videos on investing in the future. So let's get right into it and get a few definitions out of the way. So what is a stock? Essentially, a stock is giving you a bit of the action. So you actually own a bit of the company. This is literally what a stock is and what it allows you to do. An option is really just a contract between not between, but more essentially a contract that gives you the right to buy or sell a stock at a future date. So I'll give you firstly a story about my own personal experience, and then we'll go right into how you should start investing, what you should be investing in, the types of investment firms you should be using, and how much you should be investing. So when I used to work for my previous employer, part of the compensation was being given options in the company. At the beginning of it, I did not really understand. Sure, I read the contract on these options and the English spoke just fine. It read fine, not spoke, read fine. But in all, I actually was just like, oh, it's a contract. That is it. Until I understood that at a later date, I had the right to actually sell or buy these options and then make money from it, which is what happened 6 years later when we got acquired by another company. So I essentially sold all of the options as well as the shares, and I'll tell you about this in a minute. I sold all of my options, so they vested, so they had a future date when they will vest, and they vested, and I was able to sell them off. So for my previous employer, I was given as part of the compensation these stock options, and then I also had an opportunity to actually buy shares in the company. So what I did was I gave up a percentage of my income, and then when we got acquired, obviously we had to then sell everything that we owned. So in my portfolio, I only had the options that the company essentially gave to us in a contract form as part of our compensation, as well as the shares that I had been buying for about 5-6 years in that company by giving up a portion of my salary. So when we got acquired, and I remember the stock price at that time, the option price we had was, I think, between $23 per share to about the highest was 52, and then it was obviously the same for the shares as well. So when we sold them, they got actually sold at $85, which meant we made a lot of money. I can tell you that there were people in my company that became millionaires. I wish I could say they became millionaires overnight, but no, we all sacrificed a portion of our pay and bought shares within the company. Plus, depending on your level in the company, you got certain allocations of options. So this is how I got to learn about investing, and I had done it for 5-6 years, and it made me a lot of money, and I'm very grateful for that. So now I'm actually now tackling the stock market. I don't know much about the stock market, but I have been reading Jack Bogle's books, Warren Buffett, all of these geniuses, and all the other geniuses that are not as well known like Warren Buffett or Jack Bogle. So I have a bit of experience in terms of investing, and now I'm tackling the big bad Wall Street, trying to invest some of my hard-earned pounds, my dollars, and put them into the stock market. So when it comes to investing, how you should start investing, well, in the UK here, and I must really emphasize that the content I'm producing right now may be useful to everyone, but it's mostly geared towards UK beginner investors. So in the UK, you have various options on how you can start investing. You can start investing with your bank. So most, like my bank has Smart Investor. They give you an option to open an investment account with them, and obviously then buy shares, stocks, funds, bonds via them. And this has worked great for me for the last 2 years, and I still love it. I'm still using it. Another way you can start investing is by opening an account with a brokerage firm like Trading 212. I don't know much about eToro, but I know Trading 212, so I can obviously recommend Trading 212. But right now, I believe they're not taking on any new customers, but that's one brokerage firm that you can use. You can also use an investment company like Vanguard. I also invest with Vanguard purely because I literally have different things with my bank and different things with Vanguard, and that's how I want to keep it. So I chose to actually invest with my bank by buying UK bonds and buying single shares, and I'll explain that in a little bit. So and then with Vanguard, I'm just doing index funds, and that is it. So this is how I have split my portfolio. So you have options of how where you can open accounts when you want to start investing. And also in the UK, there are saving apps like Plum that also has an option for you to start investing. This is a great way if you're not really sure, especially if you're like me who's risk averse. You don't really want to risk your pounds. So, but you can actually start little by little investing with a company like Plum. And mostly they actually have the stocks that they offer and the funds that they offer. It's there's some equivalent somewhere in the stock market, like maybe with Vanguard or just with other, FTSE 100, what have you. But I haven't investigated those in detail, so I can't really speak to that. So, but these are one of the ways that you can start investing. Then when it comes to how much you should invest, and again, this is dependent on you. So these days you can start investing with as little as £1. I have seen so many ads online talking about how you can start investing with just as little as £1, which is true, which means that you can really just have your little fiver and add it to your investment account. So I personally added in a couple of thousands into my investment account, especially when I bought mutual funds with Vanguard, when I bought single shares with my Smart Investor with my bank. I just put in £100 for this, £100 for that, and then I deposit every single month. And I think this is a strategy that many people use, whereby they buy, for example, a mutual fund, and really a mutual fund is a pooled portfolio. What I mean by this is that a mutual fund really has like shares, it's got bonds, could have ETFs, or a mutual fund can also be an ETF. I'm still working out the lingo here, but I'll try and explain it the best I know how in the description down below. But so you can invest in a mutual fund which has a bit of a pie of the entire stock market. So you can just buy one, like I believe Vanguard's life strategy kind of covers the whole stock market, and it gives you, a nice feel of the stock market to see how it's performing. You can just invest in one fund, you can invest in many funds, and there are so many videos here on YouTube that gives you an idea of the best funds to use. I'm not a financial advisor, so please just take my advice here with a pinch of salt. This may not be for your particular situation. If you have particular questions on your personal situation, I advise you to speak to a financial advisor. So what I am sharing is a little nugget of information that I have learned myself over the last 2 years as I have been investing in the stock market. I'm still working on understanding all of the definitions, but I understand enough to invest. So how much you invest is really up to you. Again, you can start with £100 and see how that works out for you. You can put in £1,000 if you so wish and have that money available. It's really entirely up to you. Whom you open an account with, again, that is entirely up to you, and also your country. So like in the UK, we've got many options. You've got an investment company like Vanguard. You can check with your own banks and see what they have available. There are so many investment companies in the UK and banks that are offering opportunities for you to invest. And then you have companies like brokerage companies like Trading 212, Turo. I don't know other ones, I just know these two. So these are some that you can also use if you're thinking about investing. So I personally think everyone should invest, and it's important to invest for your future. I mean, we pay national insurance for the future, but looking at inflation, we know in the future we will need a little bit more money than what we are putting aside every single month as part of our employee contributions. Even though we're putting something in our national insurance here in the UK, honestly, I don't think for the type of lifestyles most of us want when we retire, I don't think it's enough. This is why I think it's important for everyone to start investing, and the earlier you start, the better. There's this thing called compounding interest. It is your friend. Every single year it goes up. I mean, sometimes it goes down depending on what the stock market is doing, but again, this is not something you should concern yourself with. Honestly, I don't really touch my my investments except for one time in the year when I readjust my asset allocation. So my portfolio is made up of 30% bonds and 70% is mutual funds, and this is a personal choice. Again, this is not financial advice. If you require financial advice, please seek a qualified financial advisor. For those of you just want to have a feel of what how you can start investing as a beginner, then I hope this content is useful to you. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Do not forget to hit that alert button so that you'll be made aware of when I make more videos live. I intend to produce, I think, 3 more videos on investing. I will share my stock portfolio that I have with Vanguard, and then I'll just take a screenshot of what I have, for example, in my Smart Investor with Barclays. So again, it all depends on what you want to do when it comes to investing. Read about it before you jump right into it, because it can get so complicated all for nothing. There are so many videos here on YouTube that you can actually watch that explain it a little bit better. I'm sure better than I am explaining right now, but like I said, I would just do a quick recap. So a stock gives you part of part ownership in a company. That's what a stock does. So if you buy stocks in Tesco's, you own a bit of Tesco's. How much depends on obviously how much you've added in and how much it is per share. Then an option is a contract that gives you the right to buy or sell stock in that company. For example, in my previous company that I worked for, that gives you the right to buy or sell at a future date. So when these stocks and options, when they vest, then you have an option to buy or sell them. When we got acquired, I sold mine and made a nice chunk from it. So this is why I'm all about investing, because I can see that what you can get when you really start investing seriously. And then mutual funds is just is a pooled portfolio, so it means it's mixed. You know, you have shares, you have options, you have various types of investments in there. So it's a great way to get into investing without you having to like, oh, will this company do well? No, you don't have to start thinking about single shares, and single shares is just you buying stock in one company. So instead of doing that, you can invest in an index fund, a mutual fund, and then that covers the market. And again, it also depends on what you choose. So I have mutual funds that just cover the UK market. I have global mutual funds that obviously covers the whole world. So I invest in various types. Same with my bonds. I have UK bonds and I have also global bonds. So again, it depends on the strategy that you want to employ. And again, this is not financial advice. I will repeat. This is just me sharing a little nugget on investing and what my portfolio looks like right now. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Do not forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.